When Dad's in trouble, miracles occur. Old Ma sneaks to the dock, knocks out Old Black, sends a false tip with his phone, making cops chase shadows. Taking advantage of the situation, the smuggling gang pulled a silent heist, but John suddenly felt hungry and wanted to take a kidnapped girl out for a meal. But John didn't notice Old Black was just chilling nearby, totally ready to join the party. Old Ma heard the gunfire and sped over like he was shot out of a cannon, ready for some heroic rescue. But Aunt May and her crew weren't going to miss out on the action. To keep a low profile, Old Ma had to go, heading back to the cop shop where Old Black immediately sold him out to Aunt May. Old Black had noticed something was off with Old Ma days ago and suggested Aunt May look into him, but thanks to the security issues, Old Ma caught onto his blunder. He immediately issued a warrant for Old Ma's arrest, but little did he know that escaped John had shown up at the broken window where Old Ma was already waiting. Old Ma shot John's leg, causing him to hop around like a one-legged chicken, but according to the old rules, John was supposed to bring the daughter, and boy, but John stayed cool as a cucumber, knowing that as long as the girl was with him, Old Ma wouldn't dare to act, and then another leg got interrupted. Watching the questioning go nowhere, Old Ma's patience was wearing thin as he suddenly thought of the bearded guy. With him gone, there'd be no samples for the doctor. So he tossed John in the trunk like a forgotten suitcase, ready to send him off to the doctor, but after too long without meat, Old Ma's vision was going haywire. The road turned into a blur, and one little mishap later, Old Ma crashed into a barrier while fumbling around, looking for treasure on the wrecked ship. But he found nothing on his treasure hunt. Meanwhile, on deck, Old Black discovered a puddle of black goo, while Aunt May and Old Black returned empty-handed only to find. Faced with the cops' questions, Mary blurted out that her daughter was taken by John, and Old Black finally had a lightbulb moment. Now it was clear why Old Ma was helping the smugglers. It was all because his daughter was kidnapped. Mary was babbling about how she had contacted them just 3 hours ago. The doctor mentioned that Old Ma had only consulted about some health issues, but when asked about the cause, he hid behind privacy, and at this rate, they were getting nowhere. Old Black left his card and turned to leave, not knowing Old Ma was hiding nearby, asking the doctor if there had been any updates. But the doctor replied that the data was too sparse to work with, and he needed a fresh mutant test subject, which Old Ma found hard to swallow with good conscience. Then the doctor leaned in, and Old Ma, eyeing that pristine figure, felt his furious genes start to tingle. But at the last second, he resisted temptation, shoved the doctor aside, and hurried away as his health continued to plummet. How frustrating. Old Ma felt his time was short, so he sneakily went to the hospital to bid farewell to his old man, instantly catching his dad's attention as soon as he entered. His father sensed something was off immediately as Old Ma saw his sick dad, which stirred up a cocktail of emotions. Old Ma felt guilt wash over him as he confessed everything to his father, who tearfully touched his son's heart. Surprisingly, his father didn't blame Old Ma. Instead, he felt proud, while Old Ma felt frustrated, wanting to know why he had transformed. He wanted to return to normal, and sensing his son's desperation, Dad made a bold decision. He told Old Ma to eat him. This way, Old Ma would have time to uncover the truth. He took his father to the seaside, and after a big feast, his dad got infected. His dad's vision returned, and he could see the sunset in the distance, filling him with a sense of relief. In the end, with tears streaming down, Old Ma had to take his father down, but just then, things started looking up as he pulled out the picture John sent him, studying it right by his daughter's bed. Old Ma spotted a familiar toy. He recognized it was indeed one belonging to Jinjai's daughter. As if struck by lightning, it suddenly hit him that his daughter was in Jinjai's hands, and just then, the laid-back Jinjai also got a call from John. John told Jinjai to get Old Ma's daughter ready, and as she reminisced about 10 years ago, she felt time had flown by. 10 years ago, Old Ma and Mei were out in the woods hunting down baddies, but when the baddie panicked, he actually tried to attack Mei. Good thing Old Ma was right on time. Old Ma fired several shots to take down the baddie, but who would have guessed the bullets went astray and accidentally hit a passing little girl, injuring his spine and leaving her unable to treat the girl. Jinjai had to end up working the streets, and Old Ma felt super guilty about it. Old Ma always frequented Jinjai's salon, but he never took advantage of the situation. He just enjoyed chatting. After every chat, he would always leave her a tip, and the reason he accepted that dirty money was to help Jinjai. Every time he got some, he sent it her way. However, Old Ma cared deeply for Jinjai, but she still couldn't let go, and Old Ma felt that tug at his heart. Later, feeling super regretful, Jinjai found out John was trying to take the kid and thought she couldn't just let go, so she planned to grab the girl and bolt. Little did she know, Old Mole was onto something too, and hearing his father's voice, the daughter called out from under the bed, filling him with mixed emotions. He didn't blame Jinjai. In fact, he told her to return the kid while he stayed behind to wait for John. Not long after Jinjai left, John showed up, and sensing something was amiss when he didn't see her outside, he felt uneasy. He cautiously entered the room, only to find Jinjai had turned into a new test subject, and at the same time, the police had received word about Old Mole taking his father. Old Black tracked the CCTV all the way to the seaside, where he found a cross made of grass. Digging through the sand revealed it was Old Ma's father's bracelet. Old Black was stunned. Mary learned the news about to find her daughter, who was already at the door. Before reacting, police told her Curly was arrested for arson. Turns out, while stealing, Curly and his friends stumbled upon a strange statue. At first, they thought it was a farm sculpture, but when they got closer, they realized it was a person. The head of the gang was worried the cops would find out, so he decided to burn the place down, but Curly thought about the recent string of murders and bewilderedly decided to. But the other kids had already brought gasoline. Hearing the sirens, the girl lit the haystack, forcing Curly to rush in to save the evidence. But the fire was too fierce to put out. Luckily, the police arrived just in time, capturing the gang. Meanwhile, Old Black found Old Mole hiding in a corner. Old Black pulled out the bracelet, unable to believe Old Mole would actually eat his father, but just as he waited for an explanation, the doctor sneaked up and knocked him out. When Old Black finally came to, he found himself in the doctor's basement, with John locked in a nearby iron door, and Old Mole started explaining everything. It was all out